Joining me on this India Today special broadcast is spiritual guru and peace envoy Shri Shri Ravi Shankar. Gurudev, welcome on India Today. I want to begin by asking you, what do you make of this excitement and enthusiasm around the Prana Pratishtha on the 22nd of January, Gurudev?
This is the moment Hindus have been waiting for centuries. You know, people have been wanting to see this Ram Mandir come up and Ram Lala having his rightful place. He was in tent for so long. People had so much difficulty reaching there and praying in Ram temple all these years. Now it's such a big relief in one way and celebration in another sense that the whole community is waiting for that.
Sir, do you see this as a civilizational moment for Bharat, or is there merit in the opposition saying that this is being done only with general elections in mind?
You see, there are different perceptions with different people. I don't like to comment on them, but one thing is for sure, this moment no one should miss. You should keep your politics apart, politics aside, and come and participate in something that is so dear to the Hindus of the world, the Sanatanis of the world, who revere Ram so dear. You know, even Mahatma Gandhi's last word was Hey Ram. So that Ram is resounding not just in India but also beyond our geographical borders like Thailand and Indonesia and all these countries in the east and also in the west. All the way up to Mexico, people are very much aware of Ramayana and Mahabharata. And this is the moment of celebration. You know, actually, Gaurav, when the judgment was pronounced, then itself people wanted to celebrate in the entire country. And it was the wise decision of our Prime Minister and our government to give this statement not to celebrate so that it shouldn't hurt anyone's faith, anyone's sentiments. And so people have been holding in their heart the wish to celebrate, and now that is the moment. And it's a perfect time that has been chosen. And so I think this is the time everyone should come together, forgetting their ideological, political differences, and just participate in this grand celebration.
You're calling it a grand celebration, but Gurudev, what do you make of some political parties and some political leaders boycotting this Prana Pratishtha, saying that this is pure politics, that this is not a religious function, it's a political event?
Well, don't see everything from the political angle only. Also, we must see that this is something so dear to people. And people have been wishing for this moment. And of course, there has been this thing, oh, it's an Adhura Mandir, Mandir abhi pura nahi hua, Pran Pratishtha kaise hogi? मैं उनसे सवाल ये पूछता हूँ. You know, when Sri Ram himself did Pran Pratishtha of Rameshwar, the Shivling, in Dhanushkoti in Rameshwaram, he didn't build the temple first. The Pran Pratishtha was done, then the temple happened around that. If you see many temples in this country, as soon as the Garbhagriha is ready, Pran Pratishtha has happened. And later on, different kings and Maharajas have come and they have built the temple. And it's an ongoing process, you know, building the temple. Expansion happens. It happened in Tiruvannamalai. It happened in Madurai Meenakshi temple. It happened in Badrinath, Kedarnath temple. So, even Somnath Pratishtha was done. Later on, the Shikhar was coming. And so there is no scriptural objection to it. Even scripture-wise, I know there are 108 Vaishnava Agamas. All the temple consecration is done through the Agama Shastras. See, in Vedas, there are no Vedic mantras are used, no doubt, but the vidhans are written, how it used to be done is in the agamas.
Sir, that's very
And so the
beautifully
28
put.
Shivagamas, the 28 Shaivagamas, 64 Shaktagamas, 108 Vaikhasanas Agamas are there, Vaikhanasa. These are, the authenticity for the temple's inauguration and Pran Pratishtha, and all those rituals are being followed meticulously. See, even the Prime Minister is fasting for 11 days.
True. True. And that's so beautifully put, sir. As you rightly pointed out, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he decided with K. Munshi that the Somnath temple should be rebuilt in a very big way. That was in 1947. Pran Pratishtha happened in 1965. Temple construction happened through 1965 all the way. 1951 was Pran Pratishtha. 1965 temple was built till 1995. Temple was being built at Somnath. But there is no difference whether it's a Shivji temple or a Ramji temple or a Vishnu Bhagwan temple. No difference there, sir?
In all these temples, this provision is there. Once a Garbhagriha is ready, Pran Pratishtha. That's why I said in all these agamas, it is accepted. देख हनुमान जी की स्थापना एक पेड़ के नीचे कर देते हैं पहले, बाद में मंदिर बनता रहता है.
Sahi.
Of course, there is a school of thought. Of course, I do agree. There is a school of thought. It says mandir should be completed and then the Pran Pratishtha. If the sanidhya is already not there, that is the presence of the deity is already not there. Actually, the land is allotted to the came in favor of the deity who is already there.
So it's already a holy place here, right, sir?
Ram Janambhoomi's case is different because here the deity has already been there. For ages people have been praying. So this is only building on top of it. So we cannot say that this will cause disaster, this is not going to be good for the country, none of those. Because Ram Lala's Sanidh is already there.
Gurudev, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you, because it's not just political leaders, even some spiritual gurus, including the Shankaracharyas, are saying that they will not attend the Pran Pratishtha because they are saying dharma is not being followed, or words to that effect, or saying that why should a political leader be there? So should the Prime Minister be the Yajman?
Absolutely. Prime Minister represents the entire country, and he is not just someone who would just come and cut the ribbon and light a lamp and go. He has faith, and he has been involved in the Ram Janambhoomi movement from the very beginning, and that has been his effort all his life. And then he is a bhakt also, he is a yogi. He lives his life of a yogi. He does pranayam, he does follow all these scriptural injunctions what has been given, and he is fasting. Every year he fasts for Navratri, 9 days. So it was not someone who just comes and cuts a ribbon and goes, but it is someone who has faith, and that is the qualification of a Yajaman also. A Yajaman need to have unbroken faith, the total faith. पूरी निष्ठा से कर रहे हैं हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी. तो और देश के उन्होंने जो अभी रिसेंटली उन्होंने जो रिलीज किया है, वो बोले कि जब हम प्रतिष्ठा करेंगे सबके बारे में, सबका चेतना को लेके करेंगे, 140 करोड़ लोगों को अपने मन में स्मरण करते हुए करें. ये कोई अहंकार की बात नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट कमिंग आउट ऑफ एन ईगो. इट इज such a good gesture to say that I am your representative. I am representative of all the Hindus, Sanatanis and Indians and Ram Bhaktas in the world.
That's a very significant point you make. But Gurudev, is this in your view Bharat's moment? Because there are Bharatvasis, whether in the United States or United Kingdom or different parts of the world. You were in the United States some time back, and so many people came there. But how do you see their enthusiasm around the Pran Pratishtha? Does that carry a civilizational ethos and strengthen the Sanatan bonds across the globe? What is your appreciation? You've traveled across the world.
You see, there are 6 countries other than India where Hinduism is prevalent, and our Sanatanis are living there. There are mandirs and all this. They follow meticulously. Like Nepal has Suriname is there, Mauritius is there, all these countries. But the other world, the Western world, are more familiar with yoga, meditation. They're not so familiar with Ram Mandir as such, but yes, many of them know about Hare Krishna movement. They know more about the Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna. But Ramayana need to become more popular with these efforts of our government to bringing the civilizational glory to the whole world. I'm sure it will become more and more popular. Yeah.
And
of course, it is in Indonesia. See, Indonesia is a Muslim country, but the families there, before their wedding, जैसे हम संगीत रखते हैं ना, वैसे उनके यहाँ रामायण नृत्य चलता है. ऐसे बैंकॉक में भी है, उनका भी रामायण का है, कंबोडिया में है. But Western countries में they are more familiar with the Hare Krishna movement. They're more familiar with meditation and yoga and all that. But this will really bring more and more people from around the world. It will create curiosity in our civilizational, glory and contribution to the world. Yeah.
So you think this will contribute in a bigger way in taking our civilizational glory across 7 seas. But you had played a very critical role in trying to find middle ground, to try and find reconciliation effort in the Ram Mandir movement. How do you view so many Muslims today, including the Babri petitioner Iqbal Ansari showering petals on Prime Minister, or our Muslim friends and brothers singing Sri Ram bhajans from Kashmir to so many other parts of the country?
Gaurav, in those 8 months and even before that, I traveled from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and I met so many Muslim leaders. I tell you, except just a few, all of them were in tune with our request to have the temple there. You see, 1,200 imams I met in those times, except a couple of them, all of them were in favor of favorable, settlement and coming together in a sense of friendliness, the friendship. Now here also, our government has been very, very sensitive, and Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas jo slogan hai, it is not just a slogan. I see that it is really coming through, because we are very concerned about not hurting any community in the country. And of course the mediation could do a little bit of that, contribute to that by bringing people, bridging the gap, letting people forget all of whatever happened in the past and moving further with the sense of brotherhood and one family, feeling of one family. Yeah.
Gurudev, let me then take this one step forward. The reconciliation effort, and that's a very important point you make, sir, that 1,200 imams you met and majority were in favor of reconciliation. Can this then pave the way or some forward movement on the Shri Krishna Janbhoomi at Mathura or the Kashi Vishwanath temple at Varanasi?
Gaurav, it's too early for me to say anything about it. I'm sure these are the 3 requests that has been there from the beginning. RSS has been requesting people on these 3 things, and these are the 3 one, Kashi Vishwanath has been the Vatican of our country, and the Vishwanath corridor now is a big pride to our nation. And Lord Krishna, as we all know, is also part of our history, is part of our culture, our civilization.
Ji.
And I'm sure sense will prevail, and if it is through dialogue, through talking to each other, I think we should be able to resolve these two issues.
You've been able to get warring factions together in different parts of the world. You've been able to get them to the talks table. Can this effort here also move forward through reconciliation, like in Somnath, move the mosque some distance away, or will it only happen in your appreciation for a lasting settlement only through a court order, sir?
See, it should be a combination of both dialogue and pursued effort and trust building among the communities, and of course the court will come and put their seal on it. I think that would be the best way to go forward. Yes.
Taking the civilizational ethos forward. There's one thing which I wanted to talk to you about. We see Ram Bhajans trending with the younger generation, with the youth so much, even on things like social media, Instagram Reels, Spotify, Apple Music. Are youngsters in India, the youth in India, reconnecting with Ram? Are we reconnecting with our civilizational roots now?
Absolutely. When Rajashray is there, then any dharma to sustain, you need Rajashray. When the political leaders are proud of their civilization, people will definitely follow that. If our leaders themselves are so ashamed of our civilization, our culture, our Ram and Krishna and all our history, then what do you think that's what has happened in the past several decades. Our people were so shy to say that, I belong to Sanatan Dharma, or I belong to this great culture, this civilization. But today, that revival is happening, and thanks to the effort of so many people who are making this a reality. And I tell you, see, the younger generation today are not so consumeristic in nature as they used to be before, as the previous generation. This generation is more sensitive to the culture. They are more broad-minded. They are more spiritual, I would say. And they want to do something. They are more environmental conscious. They want to do something for the nation, for the world. This is a big welcome change that you can see in generations. Yeah.
And Rajashray, that's such a important point that you make. From the times when leadership was ashamed to be connected or tried to stay away from being connected to Lord Ram or Lord Krishna or Bhagwan Shiv, to the Rajashray today, if I may, that's making all the difference. Will you be traveling to Ayodhya ji for the Prana Pratishtha on the 22nd?
I'll be going on the 21st, yes.
And what are your thoughts at this time, when we talk of the struggle that went on for over 500 years, and finally that Prana Pratishtha is happening? What are your thoughts on it?
Prana Pratishtha is happening. I'll be in one corner witnessing the grand event which has been the dream of so many saints and so many people of this nation for centuries, I tell you. Actually in 2017, when Nirmohi Akhada's Mahant, he was 85-year-old, he came to Bangalore Ashram, 92 years old. When he came to Bangalore Ashram, tears in his eyes. He said, will I be able to witness this temple ever? He asked. That's when I started, talking to them, talking to the parties, starting to engage. It's the heart throb of so many people that has come to fruition, and there is no point in delaying the Prana Pratishtha any further for the completion of the temple. It will keep happening. With the right muhurta, everything is good, and the Yajaman is full of devotion, so it's the right thing that's happening, and it's a great moment. I'll be witnessing it, yes. I'll be a witness to it. And one more thing, You know, the presence of gurus are essential in all these places. You know, there is a saying in the Shastra, it says, Kim kurvanti graha sarve yatra kendre brihaspati. And the saints or the siddhas are people who have done sadhana. Their presence can remove, eliminate any doshas that would have been there. स्वयं ही तीर्थानि पुनन्ति संतः करके है, संत लोग जहाँ होते हैं, इसलिए बहुत सारे संत आ रहे हैं. रामभद्राचार्य जी होंगे वहाँ, हमारे बहुत प्रज्ञाचक्षु बड़े संत हैं. ऐसे बहुत सारे संत महात्मा रहेंगे. किसी किसी संत को इतराज है, वो उस वक्त नहीं आ रहे तो बाद में चले जाएंगे. इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. भव्य समारोह हो रहा है, उससे सब लोग प्रसन्न हैं.
I will let that be the last word on this part of the show. Shri Shri Ravi Shankar, Gurudev, for joining me here on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks.
Namaskar. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.